Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jasmine, and welcome to another weekly weigh-in update. Today is Wednesday, October the 9th, and it is a weigh-in Wednesday for me. For any of you who may be new here, I have been on a weight loss journey using the GLP-1 compounded medication Tirzepatide since January 1st of this year, and I so far have lost right around 90 pounds. I've been doing my weekly weigh-ins and my weekly injections on Wednesdays. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the weigh-in. Last week on October 2nd, I weighed in at 250.2, and this morning, October 9th, I weighed in at 249.6, which means I have officially entered a new decade, the 240s, and I am really excited about that. For the week, that is a 0.6 pound loss, which that is probably because I went a little overboard this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. We went to a pumpkin patch and I did indulge in some apple cider donuts. They were delicious. I don't regret it. We did go out to eat as well. So I can't say I am completely shocked by this week's weight loss results. That being said, I did notice, I kind of was looking back at my little graph here, and pretty much since September 25th, I have been kind of ranging anywhere from 250 now to 249.6. So I've kind of been, for the past 4 weeks, kind of in this 250 range, and it got me thinking, you know, I am now almost 10 months into this journey, and I have not adjusted my calories in quite a while. I guess I should also say, for anyone who might be new here, so the way that I have been losing my weight is I try to stay in a calorie deficit as well as working out. But yeah, I mainly focus on calories, as well as I try to get a good amount of protein in. That being said, when I first started at my heaviest weight of over 340 pounds, my calories that I was trying to hit on a daily basis was right around 2,100 to 2,000 a day. And so I have adjusted it a little bit. Currently, I have been ranging anywhere from like 1,850 to 1,900 a day as kind of my like goal, I guess. Some days a little more, some days a little less, obviously, but that has been my calculated goal. I am starting to think that it might be time for me to adjust that number. So I'm thinking about making a whole separate video just kind of showing you guys how I actually go in and figure out my calories for my calorie deficit. So stay tuned for that. As far as side effects for this past week, I honestly didn't have any real side effects that I noticed enough to write down. The only thing I did write down is I noticed yesterday I was having some mild like gas pains, which nothing major again, but just I felt kind of bloated. That could also be because I am getting ready to start my cycle again, so you know. So in this video, I did want to address the elephant in the room, which for those of you who may not know, the FDA did recently put out basically a hard stop on compounding pharmacies making compounded Tirzepatide, thanks to Eli Lilly. They basically said that pharmacies need to stop making the compounded Tirzepatide because it's no longer in an active shortage. Seeing as I have been on compounded Tirzepatide since January of this year, this obviously does directly impact me, and I wanted to just share my thoughts on this situation. I guess for starters, I will say that I did try to reach out to my particular pharmacy. I go through a local pharmacy. They're actually based out of Austin, but they are a compounding pharmacy. And as far as I know, they're not like one of the bigger pharmacies that a lot of like telehealth companies will use. They're kind of a smaller one, I believe, but I tried looking up some information on Google because, like I said, I did try to reach out to them. They have like an answering service, and basically it's just people who like take a message and pass that message on to the pharmacy, and they're supposed to contact you. So I did reach out, and I just kind of asked, you know, if there were going to be any changes, if I was going to be able to get my medication, because I did place an order like the day that I found out about the FDA thing. I placed an order that day just to see if it would go through, and so they did send me a text message like that same day saying that they received my order, and that they would reach out to my provider though, because it was too soon to refill, but they would reach out to see if the doctor would approve it. And that very same day I got a text that my doctor approved it. And so it seems like they're trying to kind of pump out the last bit that they can, I guess. I have one order that I am waiting on to see if they will deliver it or not, and then I did get a new vial delivered last week. I haven't opened yet, so basically I have like 1 month supply on hand, and then hopefully they'll deliver this next vial, and so that'll give me 2 months worth of medication. There are two different types of compounding pharmacies. There's the 503A and the 503B. And so the 503A pharmacies were basically told you need to stop immediately, no more mass producing this medication. I believe there are certain situations where there's loopholes that they can still compound the Tirzepatide, but it's like on a case-by-case basis. They cannot mass produce it anymore. And then the 503B pharmacies are like the larger pharmacies that cater to like hospitals and bigger organizations, and they were given a 60-day notice. The pharmacy I use, I looked it up, it is a 503A pharmacy. But I looked on their website and there's no mention of anything, like there's nothing, they have not put out anything to kind of say whether they are stopping or not. Like I said, I did call and leave a message, and I have not heard anything back yet, but well, I feel like this is obviously, you know, going to impact a lot of people, myself included. Like, the whole reason I am on the compounded Tirzepatide is because my health insurance does not cover weight loss drugs, and I don't have type 2 diabetes, so I can't get it covered for that. And I cannot afford to pay the name brand for sure, and even the new like vials they released from Eli Lilly for the Tirzepatide, I believe they are, I looked it up on Google, and apparently a 4-week supply of 2.5 milligram doses will be $3.99 or $99.75 per vial. The cost for a 4-week supply of 5 milligram will be $5.49 or $137.25 per vial. And the plan does not include the delivery pens typically used for the weekly injections or syringes needed to extract the medication from the vials. So, personally, I am currently on the 7.5 milligram dose. So that would mean I would have to pay, it would basically come out to $823.50 per month for me to go and buy directly from Eli Lilly. The pharmacy that I've been using, that I get it prescribed from my gynecologist's office, who also runs a weight loss clinic, but here locally I get it from them, and at 7.5 milligrams I am currently paying about $230 a month for my Tirzepatide. So that would be a price difference of $593 per month, and that is something that I honestly just cannot afford. And to be transparent here, I have been considering even switching off of the Tirzepatide to semaglutide even before this whole FDA thing was happening, for the simple fact that even at $230 a month, it is something that I am, having a hard time paying for, because it is expensive, and the semaglutide is cheaper. I think for the semaglutide through my pharmacy, it's $180 for a 3-month supply of the starting dose, and then obviously it goes up from there as you titrate up. So I haven't quite decided for sure what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm waiting to see. Hopefully they will deliver this vial that I ordered, and then I don't know after that if they'll continue offering it or not. I feel like some pharmacies are kind of trying to use the loophole of like individual basis, but I don't know if that's the case for the pharmacy that I am using. I will say I feel like I have seen a lot of people on the internet kind of freaking out about the situation, and understandably so. I mean, it definitely sucks what is going on. I feel like, though, apparently there's already like a potential lawsuit happening, or there is a lawsuit happening that could result in it being put back on the shortage list. I don't think anyone knows for sure. Obviously, this is like a ever-changing situation, but what I will say is that regardless of if the Tirzepatide is officially gone, and no one's able to get it compounded going forward or not, I feel like we're missing the bigger picture here in a way. I had talked about in my last weigh-in video how someone had made a comment about people who take these drugs just to lose weight or whatever, and they're not willing to do other things like eat healthy and stuff to lose weight. And I talked about how false that is, and I feel like it kind of applies to this situation too, where it's like, I think we all just need to breathe. Like, even if we are no longer able to get the Tirzepatide, even if GLP-1s stop being available in general, it doesn't mean that the weight loss has to stop. It doesn't mean that you're going to gain all the weight you lost back. The only way that happens is if you revert back to the habits and the lifestyle that made you gain your weight in the first place. And so for me, I feel like I'm almost 10 months into this thing, and I have built habits that I feel like I can continue and will continue regardless of if I'm on GLP-1 medications or not. And I mean, that is the only way that I will continue to lose weight, is if I keep eating in a calorie deficit, and I keep working out, and I keep actively doing the work to lose the weight. Like, yes, the GLP-1s have been amazingly helpful and have really helped me in this journey thus far, but even so, I mean, as you can see, like, I've I wouldn't call it a stall per se, but I've been the same weight for pretty much the past 4 weeks while taking the tirzepatide. And so it just kind of shows like weight loss, it's a roller coaster. It's not a straightforward shot down. And even if you're on weight loss medication, there may be times when you're simply not losing weight, and for whatever reasons. And I feel like some people are just kind of being really negative and like doom and gloom about this whole thing. But I feel like a big part of any weight loss journey is you have to learn to be kind of flexible and resilient, and you have to just be consistent in the basics of it, which is the calorie deficit. And honestly, that is the basics of it. You whatever you're doing on top of that can help make it go faster or slower. But at the end of the day, to lose the weight, it really boils down to your body needs to be somehow burning more calories than you're taking in. And so yeah, I feel like you can control that without medication. Like I said, I feel like we all just need to take a deep breath, and it is going to be okay. Speaking for myself though, like I said, I don't know what my plan is going forward just yet. I know I have 1 month worth of medication on hand, and I do have a follow-up appointment in November with my the weight loss clinic. And so at that appointment, I'll probably talk to them about what the plan is going forward. I know some people have been really like against switching to semaglutide, and personally I feel like I would be willing to give it a shot. I have never tried it before, and I know they are different in some ways, but I feel like I don't know if it would be beneficial or helpful for me until I try it. So I would be open to trying it. I was considering switching even before this because of financial reasons anyways. So I know that it's not really feasible for me in the long term to probably even continue the tirzepatide, because I did ask my doctor like how much it cost if I wanted to go up to the next dose, the 10 milligrams. And she said at that point, the price jumps up to like, I want to say like $350, but it's for like a 6-week supply or something. And I mean, that's still a lot of money, and so I've given thought to this, like, what is my exit plan here? Because I can't afford to continue to pay hundreds of dollars every month just for a medication. I am almost 100 pounds down at this point, and I know that I have at least another 100 pounds that I want to and really need to lose just to be at a healthy weight for my height. And so that being said, I feel like, okay, I'm kind of halfway through this thing. I don't want to stall out. I don't want to slow down. I want to keep moving full speed ahead. And so that has always kind of been my plan anyways, was to just remain on this medication until I get the weight off, and then at that point kind of reassess and see if I need to be on it anymore. And so I'm thinking if I need to switch to semaglutide and try to utilize that to get the rest of my weight off, then I'm willing to try it. So moving on to a less heavy topic, I guess, we are going to get into the non-scale victories for the week. So I honestly had to kind of think about this one. And I feel like, sometimes you just have those weeks where it's like so busy. Like I feel like I've just been so busy that I haven't really taken time to stop and like think about what is my non-scale victory for the week. So I did have to kind of think about this one. But one thing that I did think about is I started implementing a core exercise routine at the gym this week. I have always kind of carried weight in my midsection. That's kind of been my problem area forever, and especially after, first of all, getting up to over 340 pounds and then having a baby on top of that. Obviously my stomach, just my core strength, it doesn't exist at this point. It's just been one of those areas of my body that I have not worked out or even tried to strengthen up until now. And I think it's just maybe from like not wanting to feel embarrassed at the gym. Like, again, it's like a mental thing. In the past, I've talked about how I had to get over like a mental hurdle of doing a certain leg exercise at the gym in front of people, or like glute exercises. And I feel like it's kind of been the same thing with my core, like with my stomach. I just not wanting to try to work out my stomach in front of other people, because it is kind of an area of my body that I'm just like still insecure about. And so anyways, that being said though, I did look up some beginner friendly like standing core exercises, and so I did find some on TikTok and I started doing those at the gym, and I did it 3 times last week. So that's kind of my game plan going forward, is I want to try to start adding in the core exercises like 3 times a week. That being said, like, I know realistically like there's no exercise I can do to like get rid of my stomach. Like, even if I lose all the weight and do all the exercises, I know I'm going to have loose skin on my stomach, and that there's no getting rid of it besides having surgery. And honestly, that is something that I would like to do in the future. Like, once I'm done having babies, I would love to get a tummy tuck. Those are also expensive, so that's like a way in the future goal, I guess. But in the meantime, I feel like I'm gonna do what I can to try and at least get the muscles in a better situation, because I feel like I have that diastasis recti, and honestly I can't even see it though, because my stomach is so big. Like, it just looks like I have a stomach. Like, I can't see the ab separation like some women can who are smaller. You can see it, like, especially after they have a baby. So I don't feel like I can see it, but maybe as I continue to lose weight it'll become more apparent. But that's what I'm trying to kind of work on, just getting that to kind of close, I guess. And again though, I don't know, it probably is not gonna ever fully close without surgery. So anyways guys, I am done rambling. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I would love to hear what are some of y'all's non-scale victories for the week. You can leave those down in the comments as always. And as far as an emoji for the week, I had to kind of think about it, but if you made it this far, you can leave a fall leaf emoji down in the comments just to let me know. And if you have not subscribed yet, please consider. I would love to have you here. Also, if you have not followed me over on TikTok, I have been trying to post over there as well, and so I will leave the link to that down in the description. And yeah, other than that guys, I appreciate you all for watching once again, and I will see y'all in my next one.